So this is Matt Lamont from Benutech, and I'm here with Brian Wildermuth from Deluxe Marketing, who is here to talk about how to have an effective direct mail marketing campaign.
How's it
How you
going?
doing, Brian?
I'm doing well, Matt. How you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. So you just flew in, huh?
Always on a plane somewhere. Just came in from Carlsbad. Not a bad
Carlsbad.
place to come from. Yeah, come from Carlsbad to Denver. So two good places.
So Brian, I know direct mail is probably one of the most important pieces of a real estate agent's career, and it's also the most challenging part of a real estate agent's career. We're going to talk a little bit about why direct mail is so effective in real estate today and getting listings, selling homes, and why it still reigns king. But I know this is pretty unique to our audience, which is mainly title marketing reps, because before you got involved with Deluxe, you actually used to be a title marketing rep, right?
I was. I started out my career right out of high school. Actually, while I was going to college, I got into. I was in Southern California, and I got into the escrow business out there, and that kind of stays with you. You don't just like. No one goes. So when I grow up, I'm going to be a title rep. It's not. The fireman, yes. I'm in the Army. I'm going to be a policeman, but never title rep. So yeah, Matt, I started out selling title. I moved from escrow into title after I graduated from college and never left the real estate business. I did that for a long time in California. And then I moved to Colorado, and I was running a title team, a sales team here in Colorado, and then innovated with one of my clients, software product to help real estate agents connect with their prospects and their customers. And that was an e-marketing platform that turned into a multi-channel marketing platform, doing a lot of direct mail. And that was really fun. We had a great time. We sold the business. We had 40,000 subscribers. It was a Sharper Agent was the name of the product. And sold that to a market leader. Market leader sold that to Trulia, sold it to Zillow. So I had a stint in the online lead arena also with those companies. And I even spent a little time with 3 years with Brian Buffini, going around talking about repeat referral business and how to help agents, get their business to the next level. So I've been around the industry quite a long time, and I've come from all angles, but have a passion for helping agents from the time I was a title rep, from the time I started as a title rep.
That's interesting because, I always thought it was unique in that business of title insurance that title insurance marketing reps are such a resource for real estate agents in everything, especially their marketing plan. So, what would you say is the major challenges facing realtors, and how would you suggest reps go about helping realtors face those challenges?
That's awesome. I love talking about that, Matt. The challenges today are no different than they were before, because the principles for marketing for a real estate agent, the principles for trying to reach new customers, for trying to promote their properties professionally, and then also then building a relationship lifelong, that hasn't changed. What's changed are some of the tools, but the tactics are still there, right? You still have the ability. It's easier today, I think, than ever before. And agents might not know that, but they've got to find a way to combine activities as opposed to going one methodology. Like, I'm just going to do online leads and I'm just going to focus on that, right? So I think the one thing that agents mostly struggle with today is there's so much choice. There's so many tools that, it's not just that they have to be on social media. There's like 5 different platforms, and then a new one comes and they've got to figure that out. Or it's not just what tools can I use to do email marketing or direct mail? There's so many options. I think that's their biggest challenge, that title reps can help understand and then kind of come be a coach and take that time to help coach them on how to market.
That's interesting. So let's talk about direct mail, your forte, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I recently read an article. I know we were talking about this before we came on today. Sorry about that. I know we were talking about this before we came on today. We were talking about an article in Forbes magazine, which kind of destroys the hype around digital marketing. You know, a lot of people were saying direct mail is dead. Obviously, looking at the data from that article, it is far from it.
Yep.
So I was reading in Forbes is that direct mail response rates are actually 10 to 30 times higher than that of digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you looked at the same data, but I think yours is a little different, but it's more, this is from 2017. What do you see, what do you see in this analysis? Like, is direct
Yeah.
mail still reigning king in the digital age?
I think so, and there's several reasons why, but I think the big thing for people to realize is that the shiny object is what reigns king right now. The fact that the fact that something new and exciting. I mean, I'm guilty of it too, right? I have a Fitbit and an Apple Watch, like I can't make up my mind. but I tell you what, it's because innovation's happening so fast, and here's what we want. We being the real estate agents, they want the magic pill. Take the pill, right? Set it, forget it, be done with it. Don't have to think about it. And maybe, you know, if it's free would be good, right? Free's always good, but that's not the case. That's not the case. So I think there's been such a move to digital that it opened the door for print to become, you know, for direct mail and print to become fashionable again. And it's not that it ever wasn't fashionable. It's just people move to the next and newest and shiny thing. But if you look at the stats that you're talking about, Matt, in that Forbes article, and you know, mine are different but similar from the Direct Marketing Association, which it's an incredible organization. One of the things I've always done in my career is gone outside the real estate industry and look at what other industries are doing, and then I bring those solutions that make sense into real estate because we're so insular. You know, we're so insular. So yes, direct mail response rates much higher, significantly. In fact, in the study that I've got for the Direct Marketing Association, if you are prospecting, you've got a 4% response rate from direct mail. That is the DMA study, but 1% or less for digital advertising, and that's something really to pay attention to.
Yeah, I think I had 0.12% from emails, which actually makes a lot of sense because I know for myself and probably you as well, I get emails from people like junk email on a constant basis, and people don't take that into account. They think, oh, if I send this person an email, like this is the only email they're receiving.
Right.
Especially if you're involved in business, right? And it's your business email. I'm constantly getting people trying to sell me data, even though I'm a data company, or trying to redo a website, or trying to do this, trying to do that. And I'm constantly right-clicking and pushing it into junk mail, right? And then blocking them from ever sending me an email ever again. But they're going to keep sending me emails, not knowing that it's going into my junk mail, which you can't really do with direct mail.
Well, right? I'll tell you, I have an inbox. I have an email address that's just for stuff I sign up for, and I know they're going to blast me. My email, my personal email address, I give to my friends. I give to you know, business people that have become my friends. You know, and so I got my business email, I got my personal email, and then I have a third email, which is, I want to sign up for your thing. I've got to give you my email address, but I don't want to sit there and look at your emails, right? Most people, and if just look, the audience, who's you know, whoever's listening right now, you ask yourself, if you sign up, if you get drip newsletters, and with how busy you are, maybe you have kids, maybe you're you're running, doing a bunch of, you know, appointments, and then you got to run and go see your kid's school play, and then you're back, you know, you're back at work, and then you're going off to some PTO meeting afterwards. We're busy. And so it's hard to grab somebody's attention, especially when your inbox is full. It's full, right? I still believe some digital is very, very, very powerful, but it should be done in conjunction with direct mail, because it is the main thing that's going to drive the responses and your connection with people.
What other things do you think they should combine with direct mail?
Well, here's the thing. I just got back from Remax convention. I'll be doing a similar talk at the Berkshire Hathaway convention. Um, Basically, what I'm telling agents is it's not offline, it's not online, it's inline. It is getting in line with where your customers at, and you have to marry the two. So that same study from the Direct Marketing Association, Matt, said that if you use direct mail plus if you do one more medium, okay, so just another medium, maybe it's email, your response rate goes up 118%. 118% if you combine direct mail with a digital format together. It will go up to 130% if you personalize it. So it's not just, hey, everyone, it's, hey, Matt, right? And then here's the cool thing, right? You're going to love this. When you add personalization plus data, now you've got 500% increase in the response rate. So I think agents just need to realize that marketing is a holistic approach. And I believe instead of making Facebook or Instagram your hub,
Right.
while every other agent's doing that same thing, right? They're crowding, just like they're crowding the email. They're going, look at me, look at me, look at me. And here you come in. And here comes a piece of mail. I got a direct piece of direct mail from Open Door the other day. That's just let that sink in for a second, okay? I also get direct mail from Google, from Amazon, right? I don't know about you guys. Pay attention to your mail. I pay attention to my mail. These companies understand that they have a greater response rate because fewer people are doing it today than they should be.
That's true. And I advocate mixing up your marketing methods. Actually, one of my favorite methods is combining direct mail with door knocking. I know a lot of people are scared to door knock, but that's the whole reason why you should knock on doors, because nobody else is doing it.
Right.
So if you have like an advertising piece that's coming through the mail and I see it, and maybe I throw it out, but I remember that face and I remember real estate agent. And then I keep throwing out that piece of mail, and then I'm showing up at your door all of a sudden, knocking on your door, and then I get another piece of direct mail, and then maybe you send out an email as well. The first person I'm going to think about when I decide to sell my house is probably the person that keeps popping up all over the place, on my computer, in my mailbox, at my door. I mean, this guy's relentless.
Right.
But I think that you would have a lot more success with that type of marketing than another real estate agent that just sent off, did a one-off postcard or called one time to check to see if I immediately wanted to sell my house and then never called me again.
Completely agree. Completely agree. I think that's, the mix should be very well thought out as well. This kind of ready, fire aim thing is great for making decisions sometimes. But as far as, I think the biggest gap that we still have in our industry today, and I'm on my 35th year in this crazy industry, the biggest gap, Matt, is we don't have enough agents treating their business like a business. And to do that, you need a plan. And that plan should say, okay, I have a farm, I have my neighborhood, I have my sphere of influence, and then there's the online arena. And here's how I'm going to attack those things. And then I'm going to do some digital, I'm going to do some direct mail, and I'm going to do some in-person relationship building. Because at the end of the day, it's about relationships. That's all it's about. That's all it's about.
And direct mail marketing is basically just getting your foot in the door to establish that relationship. It's not the end all of be all, I would imagine.
No, it's not. It's not. It's the consistency though. There's a piece that's really important. It's a cadence. It's a consistency. The best agents. So when I was a title rep, I speak to you guys. There's no way to differentiate yourself. I'm sorry. One title company's title policy is the same as the others. We all have basically the same data. It's about you helping them, right? Can you be an asset? Can you find them, help them get leads? Can you help them learn how to market more effectively? And so what I did was I started studying my butt off. I interviewed the top agents and I got outside of my own market and learned about all the software, all the tools, and then I became a coach. And one of the things I would do, Matt, this is hilarious because it's really relevant to how I built my software company, is I literally bought I had a laptop that had a floppy disk. Now, some of you guys probably don't even know what that is. You're the younger ones. You guys don't know what a floppy disk is. Well, I had one of the first laptops, and I had a product called eNeighborhoods. And I worked for a title company, and I was able to go into an office one-to-one with an agent, pull a farm area up, and I had a mini HP printer, and I'd set it right there and put some labels in it, and I would produce their labels for them. So that was what I did way back in the day. And I was actually helping to build marketing pieces for them. You can't really get away with that stuff anymore today, but that back then we did. And so it's in my DNA. The stuff's in my DNA. How do you help an agent when everybody's title is basically the same? Everybody's product is the same. It comes down to helping that agent really know what's going on out there because they got a lot to do and helping them win.
Well, building value, I think, is super important. And I think, I mean, as a title rep, going back to title reps, you're basically doing business to business sales. And that's kind of what's missing on the real estate industry. The real estate industry tries to differ itself from the rest of the sales world, and it's not. There's no difference between, a real estate agent, which is business to consumer, or a title marketing rep, which is basically business to business.
Yep.
And if you read a lot of business to business sales books, I'm a super sales nerd. Your best position is to become a valued advisor to whatever business you're trying to penetrate.
Totally.
Like for me, I study obviously the title insurance business. Am I a title insurance rep? No, I'm not, but I service the title insurance industry. So I study everything about it. How do they sell? What's their day like? How can I help them? Right? And for a title marketing rep, I think it's super important, or the most important thing is to learn everything about a real estate agent's business better than they know it, so that they can add to the conversation and add to the value. And I know, don't hit the dislike button. I'm actually not, I'm not that against RESPA, because I feel like it did change the conversation, and it changed the way that people in the real estate business had to sell. Because before, it was kind of really lazy sales, right? When I was a loan officer, and I think it was back in like 2003 when I had started, I was really surprised with the account executives that would come through the office and basically bribe you with Lakers tickets and whatever that had nothing to do with my business. They would just bribe you to get the business, right? And I never really put my business through people that did that. I never did that, because all of those sales reps, whether they're from a bank or a title company or whatever, I always saw that they would screw things up. They didn't really care about my business, and they thought the way to earn my business was just to bribe me. And I think because of RESPA, or like if you're in California, like SB 133, they've really tightened the rules down. The only thing you can bring to the table at this point is advice and is value, that you can actually generate business for this real estate agent, or bring business for this lender by giving them advice on probably the most challenging aspect of their business, which is marketing. 90% of real estate agents fail, and they fail because they don't know how to market. And actually, you're talking about cadence earlier too, which I really want to talk about, because there is a big misperception. And I'm saying this from talking to so many realtors about their marketing campaign, where they think that sending one-off postcard is going to generate business, and they give up literally after the first mail out. They're like, I didn't get any leads, or some of the responses were bad. I'm done with it.
Totally.
Can you touch on that a little bit? Because I feel like that is a big misperception. It's like putting out a commercial once at 2 a.m. and then shutting the whole thing down.
Yeah, totally. So I got to tell you, Matt, I hear where you're coming from on all that. I was in the heart of all that. In fact, I worked at a title company out in California when the title companies went to the insurance commission and said, save us from ourselves, because the expense was so great, of the buying of the business and that. So that's why I turned into a consultant or an advisor, as you said. And so here's what I found over the years and what I've taught, as far as the three things that an agent, if they do one of these three things, but if they do these three things collectively, I think they're going to have a much higher success rate. The first one is, you got to make it about them. So I see agents and their marketing, they make it about themselves, and it's a big picture of them, and they've got an open house side with a picture of them, and that's how we've always marketed. But this is a day when you have to put your consumer client as the hero and you're their guide. And so, for everybody out there, there's a great book by Donald Miller. Okay, it's called Building Your Story Brand, and this is like revolutionizing the way businesses are talking about themselves. They're really the Yoda, and their client is the Rey or the Luke Skywalker in the story. And what they have to do is insert your client into the story, into your marketing. So that's number one, is make it about them. The second is, you got to be consistent. There is a cadence. There is a consistency. I've always paid attention in my neighborhood. Agents come and go with their marketing, and they'll start mailing, and about 4 mailings in, they stop. I'm like, well, 4 is not going to cut it, right? The average has got to be, for anything you're testing, it's got to be 18 times before you've really sunk in. Now you're going to start to be familiar. Now they're going to count on it coming. It's not like, hey, I did 2 mailings and I didn't get a deal, so I'm not going to do it anymore, right? Those response rates come from this relationship you build visually with somebody over time. So, Gary Keller, love him, hate him, whatever you feel, he's a really brilliant man. Years ago, he did a study, and he found that, for every 12 people in your database that you market to consistently, now he says 33 times. I think that's a little bit excessive. I think you can get away with 18 times. And I think that's the magic number. 18 times for every 12 people in your database, you'll get 2 transactions. So you do the math.
How frequently would you say that, like, what's the frequency to actually send out the mail? Is it once a month, once every 2 weeks, once every?
Yeah, it's a great question, Matt. I think for direct mail, it's once a month, and then you can interstitch a combination of social or email marketing. So if you have an asset or an email marketing program, and that one is just literally just getting your name there. They may not open it; they'll see your name. Hopefully they open it, right? But direct mail cadence consistency once a month, and not 1 or 2 mailings and then you're done, right? So first is make it about them. The second is consistency. And if you're farming, by the way, you're farming into an area. Farming still works. For every 50 people that you farm to once a month for a minimum of 12 months, you'll get a lead or a transaction. You'll get a transaction. So obviously, your sphere of influence, 2 for every 12, 1 for every 50. But those numbers are real, okay? And just it's that consistency. And then the third thing in that whole mix would be to make sure that you've actually allocated a budget for this, right? That you're going to say, all businesses have a marketing budget, and you've got other marketing costs that you have. But those would be my 3 things. Make it about them, be consistent, have that cadence, and then the third one's have a budget so you're prepared for that spend for the year.
So sometimes things slip our mind because it's hard to form habits.
Mm-hmm.
And I think marketing, in the sense that you're talking about right now, where you're talking about 18 months of marketing once a month, if you're not used to marketing at all, how do you form that habit? Or is there an automated way of forming that habit of, like, making sure that your mail goes out consistently every single month?
Yeah,
brand new, and I don't have a marketing agenda right now. Like, how do I program that, for myself?
Yeah, well, and Deluxe has this functionality. Other programs have this functionality. I believe in automation for sure.
Right.
I just don't believe that you should automate everything, because you can't really, you can't automate your. There's a really cool. I'm a big believer in video. We're doing it right now. It's the next best thing to being face to face, right? And there's
Right.
many of you have heard of the cool app out there, Bomb Video. You can, you don't want to set something like that on everything on autopilot. But direct mail is one thing that I think, if you've got a good partner that actually has content for you, because that's the other thing. Agents are like, okay, fine, I'll do it. I don't know what to say or how to say it. So you want the right content. And if you have the right content and an engine that allows you to preset those mailings and
Right.
attach your data list, off it goes, and you can seed yourself in there, so hey, I got it in the mail. Now I know that my clients have just received this. Great time to pick up the phone and call them and say, hey, I just sent you that piece. Let's go have coffee. So I
Right.
think it's I think you're dead on that automating direct mail is something that's it's a no-brainer, and it takes away that fear of and also for the forgetfulness. We got a file blows up, a loan falls through, or I got an inspection issue. I think you put that on autopilot, the marketing, and you're going to have a much higher success rate.
Well, it's sales, right? So there's always a pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've seen pipelines fall apart because sometimes your talent can take you places that your character can't keep you, So
Yeah.
what I mean by that is, let's say I land a major deal, right? And I'm like, holy smokes, wait till I see my commission check. It's going to go through the roof. And then I get my commission check and I'm having a bonanza. I go call my friends. We're all running out to the bar tonight. Drinks are on me. My marketing campaign, I don't even care about it anymore because I'm super rich. And then all of a sudden, you go from here all the way down to there. Your pipeline falls apart. You're not getting any more sales. Nobody's calling you. And then you wonder why your check is, at the end of the year, is actually below average of what you'd make if you had, a minimum wage job. And I've seen this not just happen to realtors, but probably in every single sales career I've ever seen, where people they don't have their pipeline is just not consistent. And I think that comes from not consistently marketing as well. So yeah, I do see value in something like a drip campaign where it's just automatic.
Yep.
I already have money budgeted for my direct mail campaign because I know it's going to be effective and I need those deals to keep coming through. And I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say one of the biggest mistakes I ever made was stopping my direct mail campaign because I thought I was just killing it and I didn't need it anymore. Because you talk about it, like you just said, 18 months takes 18 months to get your direct mail campaign riding high. Well, if you stop your direct mail campaign, then what happens?
Well, it's like anything else. I mean, you're out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
When I was a title rep, we had for one period of time, I was in Simi Valley, California, and there was only 350 real estate agents in that association. And every day, I had a female counterpart. She would start at one end of the town, I'd start at the other, and we'd cross and we'd cover the town. And if you missed a day, you'd come in the next day, and someone would say, "Where you been?" Out of sight, out of mind, right? And so I think it's true for marketing. Give you this example. The agent kills it in my neighborhood. He does direct mail. He has a newsletter once a month, and then every listing and sold goes to the whole neighborhood. And he also then supplements that on the community Facebook page. He does little events. He does door knocking. And so he's combining all those mediums, and he just owns it, right? As soon as the listing sign goes up in someone's neighborhood, there's your other marketing piece. But you can't get to that if you aren't doing the consistent touch, the consistent visibility, and especially in today's day and age, you want to be doing that regularly. So I believe in the drip, and I believe in that consistency. And Matt, to using the right data to target the right audience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we teach people in data that you need to look for, primarily if you're targeting like a geographical area, you need to look for a geographical area where homes are actually being bought and sold at a higher rate. And it seems like common sense that people don't do it, but if something's trending, I mean, we're doing social media right now, right? Something's trending, it's kicking butt. If you're targeting an area that's not trending, you're not going to have a real successful campaign. If there's no homes being bought and sold in this neighborhood, you're targeting a dead zone. So for me, when I advise real estate agents or real estate investors like where to target, I will tell them you need to target a specific geographical area where the turnover rate is high. In other words,
Yep.
A lot of homes are being sold versus how many homes I've selected in that area. Every real estate coach out there will tell you the exact same thing. That's just the start, and then there's different methods like, targeting people that have life events that might cause them to sell, obviously, is going to be very helpful for your list.
Absolutely.
Some more than not. But some people have the misconception that you need somebody in pre-foreclosure, or you need somebody that is getting divorced, or you need some kind of, person chasing somebody with a bloody knife in order to sell a house. So that's not entirely true. You might get a targeted list like that, and it might do really well. And again, you have to be consistent and target this person consistently, whoever your target is, but you can't ignore geographical farming. Geographical farming creates a territory for you. And when, to your point, when you're talking about marketing to somebody for 18 months, well, someone's not going to go through a divorce for 18 months. So you might get some quick licks out of that, but you're still not establishing territory. And to me, those life events is something to supplement your geographical farm. It's not a replacement for it. So yeah, it's a good point.
Good stuff. Tell me, Matt, tell me about the knife chasing the guy. I don't know that demographic. What is that one? Well, I lost you on that one.
Well, typically in data, especially with real estate
neighborhood, huh?
Yeah, with real estate investors and real estate agents, because we kind of sell data that's really off the wall. There's no knife chasing a guy. That's a little
okay. I just want to be clear about that. I can't search that. That's against fair housing, I think, in some way.
but they think that there needs to be some kind of catastrophe happening in order for them to do any kind of marketing. Like, I have to market to somebody where it is, they have to sell their house right now. And that's not always the case. A matter of fact,
right now I only have 2 agents marketing. I have a pretty sizable neighborhood I live in, just 2. So it's not crowded. It's not a crowded space. And the 2, a couple of them are consistent. Some of them are pretty erratic. They are kind of event driven. But I agree, Matt, what you're saying about that for sure.
Yeah, they're definitely indicators. Like you definitely get people off of that, but we could take like notice of default pre-foreclosures for an example. After 2008, we had a ton of foreclosures, and everybody started chasing after pre-foreclosures, which was successful at the time, but people didn't change the game up. When it's kind of like, you learn about the food chain and how nature works. I remember when I was I think it was in elementary or junior high, they were talking about, when there is a ton of deer in an area and then you have predators come in and they start wiping out all the deer. Well, pretty soon the predators start dying off. Why? Because there's not enough deer to sustain them. And it's the same thing when you're talking about like life events, right? If you have everybody chasing the same life event, like pre-foreclosure, then there's not gonna, your direct mail piece is going on top of 10 other people. So you got to get a little bit creative. So while I think you should supplement your marketing campaign with life event data, I think targeting a specific geographical location first, doing like a consistent marketing campaign first, that should be your priority. And on top of that, you should also target people, target market people that are going through some kind of life-changing event that usually people haven't thought of, like maybe like an affidavit of death, or maybe a bankruptcy, or people that filed for divorce recently is a good thing to top off your campaign with.
Yeah, well said. Well said.
All right, buddy. We're kind of running out of time here, so I'm going to wrap this up. Brian, can you give us a little plug here? Deluxe Marketing, where can you find them at? I know, like, inside our system, OR Pro Farm, or actually only an OR Pro Farm at Old Republic, you can find Deluxe Marketing when you go to export your list.
Yep.
All you have to do is click on third-party vendors, click on Deluxe. We have an integration with Deluxe, which has never been seen before, but also you can go to their website. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, you can come to our website to find out about us at re.deluxe.com. I would love it though if you'd go through the OR Pro Farm tool, because what's awesome about it is you can create your list in there, and then when you click the link to come over into our solution, you're bringing that list in, and we have an array of pre-designed, pre-written campaigns. Fantastic stuff. Everything to help with your farming, to more specific targeted pieces. Maybe you want to do a move-up campaign in an area where we have an aging population, and some of them are at that spot where they're like, hey, a second home would be great right now. But then others are at that, no, I want to downsize, right? So we have all these different campaigns built. So you're going to bring that list in. So whatever list you are needing from the OR Pro Farm tool, you can bring that straight in and then go right into our campaign tool, and you can start to set it and forget it, like Matt was talking about. So the things we help you with, we help you get more leads, more qualified leads. Check out our cool home val tool where you can create a valuation for everybody and tell them what their home's worth. We help agents promote their properties. So we have great brochures and direct mailers for just listed solds. And then lastly, we're going to help you stay in touch for life to build clients for life. So that's a little plug on us, and it's a great partnership we have with Benutech and with Old Republic Title.
I actually got so excited about our marketing conversation, I forgot about the integration part, which is probably the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because one thing, I've done direct mail campaigns. You know what I found really annoying? Uploading stuff, like making sure all the headers are right, and then trying to upload it, and then I upload it, and then it fails, and I'm like, oh God, I hate this. I hate it. And I really dreaded my direct mail campaign, not because I had to design postcards, which I thought was the fun part, not because I had to pay for mailers, which I didn't care about because I'll get a return on my investment. It was the whole upload part, which is why we have this whole idea to begin with.
Yep.
Using OR Pro Farm, going into Deluxe, you don't have to create an Excel sheet that has, where you need to match the headers to make it compatible with Deluxe or anything. You literally like choose your stuff and then click on Deluxe, and it just goes straight over.
Pulls it over. Don't need to do anything.
Yeah, you don't even have to fill out a form to create an account, because it takes the stuff that you have in OR Pro Farm and throws it straight into the Deluxe website, which is super cool. So, I mean,
exactly.
all you have to do from there is choose an 18-month drip campaign, which you have that, right?
We have drip campaigns of all sizes and durations. So yeah, go in there and select your campaign, and then just start marketing right away.
Yeah, it's set and forget. So I like that. So check it out, guys. Go on OR Pro Farm, make yourself a list, target an area that has a high turnover rate, send it over to Deluxe, check out their mailers. They are ridiculously awesome, dude. Like, everybody that I've talked to has great things to say. I mean, they have really, really high quality mailers. So I want you guys to go check that out.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate making time for this today.
No problem, Brian. You have a good one.
You too. We'll see you later.